This is Warriors Anonymous.
Welcome to Warriors Anonymous. Hope everyone's been Viking clapping since Friday night. My name is Jared Cronin. We've got the Sauce Boys in tonight, running it hard. We may have Daniel Wharekura joining us later on, so we'll see. He may be coming in off the bench. And maybe someone else, so if they're around, maybe we'll have a special guest. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see what happens. First of all, let's chat to who we've got here. And we'll start with you, Isaac Sauce, because, shock horror, he's not wearing the Woody tonight.
No, it dilutes my sound quality, but so I've taken off the Woody, but I have got the hot water bottle just to keep you warm.
Yeah, good.
It is ice cold.
Still pretty chilly, yeah?
Oh, how cool is it? You're supposed to answer ice cold, but yeah. All right.
Sorry, man. I've been in Aussie too long where they ask questions like that and they're more like statements. Like, oh, how good? And you're like, pretty good? And they're like, no, that's the end of the statement. And you're like, okay, my bad, sorry. All good. We've also got Moneta Sauce, the man who, we do a little bit of an agenda planning before we do our episodes here on the podcast. And Moneta got in and added some stuff to the agenda. But he was a little bit overeager and managed to wipe out a whole section of the whole document. Bro, what was going on there? You got a bit excited with the old delete button.
I was actually had a bit of time, in between taking the kids to having a nap. And then I was doing it on my phone and my fat fingers must have pressed the delete button. I was like, uh-oh, how do I undo this? And I was like, there's no way I can undo this. I've deleted it all. It's just my fat fingers, mate. My fat thumb. Basically,
Google Docs.
I was just like, I'm going to be a genius and add all this. Oh, shit.
No.
I deleted it all.
Because you have used the dial.
Yeah, that's some good stuff. And I was like, yeah, you gave me the heads up. You're like, oh, I knocked out a couple of things. I was like, that's all good, bro. Then I went in there and saw it. I was like, holy moly, it took out everything.
Because I was doing it from my phone, and I was like, damn it! I'll blame my phone. It's better a small phone. It's
iPhone 4.
I don't know.
The flip.
Yeah.
Were you trying to do the old, what is it, Kelly Rowland and Nelly sending a text message off an Excel sheet?
Excel spreadsheet.
Excel.
I should do that at work, eh? Just check out this message through Excel.
Yeah. Cell A1.
Oh, boys. Let's have a little look at some general news, I suppose, because we had a pretty good win. Oh, maybe a very good win, shall we say, on Friday night. We went over to Canberra. They'd laid out they'd put out all the party tables and food, and everyone was all ready to go and celebrate, Ali Leatawa's debut for the Warriors, among maybe a couple of other things as well. But Isaac, did it feel like we were maybe just set up a little bit going into that game?
Yeah, I think the whole occasion was the setup from the start to almost the finish, but we still came out on top. But yeah, Croker deserves it. I've always been a fan of Jared Croker as a player. I think he's been highly underrated for a long time. So to play 300 games, was he the 47th player to hit 300 games?
About that, yeah.
Yeah, so that's not many in their great pantheon of league players. So yeah, huge effort for him. But yeah, bit of a stitch up for us.
Especially that they had delayed it, to get him there to do it at home, and then it was like, oh, okay, what are we running into here? But as you say, Moneta, the Raiders, they wanted it early on. That was they got excited, they got into us. I feel like we maybe started a little bit soft, and they just came out and just took the game to us. How did you see that first stanza of the game?
I mean, yeah, definitely the first 20 minutes was all Raiders, and that's when I was starting to get nervous, and I think I was like, oh no, we haven't had much of this possession, have we? But if you look at the positive side of it, their defense was immaculate. I mean, their line defense and their communications. Oh, well, what can you say? They held them off for like a good, entire half, I reckon. That one try by Whiten, I thought was a bit of a fluke. It kind of bounced off the foot and then went straight into his hand. But it wasn't like orchestrated by, exposing the gap in the defense. It was just pure luck to me. So, I think they weathered the storm pretty well. Yep, they did get a bit out-muscled in the first 20, but their defense and their resilience, and that's something we haven't seen from the old Warriors. I don't know what Webster's done, but he's done something.
These ain't the same old Warriors. In fact, I saw a tweet from Sam Hewitt saying that the Warriors currently are sitting with the second best defense in the league behind Penrith. So
Jesus, you don't hear that, eh?
yeah,
Jesus.
that's right. And especially in those, when you get into those scoring kind of positions, generally we haven't been great at holding them out. But man, we had I think probably 2 or 3 guys held up just on the line. Isaac, how did you see, what we were doing in those occasions?
Well, I think it's just well organised there. Yeah, again, what is Webster doing to this team? I think, was it one of the stats about when we dropped down to 12 players is we've only let in 1 try that whole time when we were down to 12. And I think I've been seeing a lot of talk about CNK and how important he is to this team. When they drop down to those 12-man scenarios, he is the one that picks up the slack and is in the line but still managing to recover, get back in behind the line to cover the kick. And I actually went back and looked at a little bit of that, and just to see the amount of work he puts in, it's just a massive amount of work. So to know that you've got a guy like that can, cover so much ground, especially in a situation where you've only got 12. I think when you've got 13, he's almost, I don't want to say, he's the conductor of that defense from the back, because I think he's just seeing everything and he's just calling it. But yeah, second best defense in the league is, don't want to say unheard of for the Warriors, but unheard of.
Yeah, that's right. We've even at the times that we've been a top team, we've been one of those kind of flashy and, probably a bit more exciting, high scoring type of sides. So to get us to be more of a team that's more like the blueprint, the championship kind of blueprint, dare I say, is pleasing. But Moneta, I can tell you, bro, over in Aussie, we've kind of been going through the whole season. I've been quietly watching. People come up to me at work and they're like, "Hey man, Warriors are going well," and I'm like, "Shh. We don't need to tell anyone that yet. We're just happy to go about our things, let nobody else worry about us." But now people are starting to catch on to the fact. They're like, "Hang on, these guys are doing something pretty good here." What's the feeling like back in New Zealand? What's the media like? What's the league supporters like back home?
I think it's just I don't know one way to describe it. I mean, it's just happiness. It's one thing to note is they're back in New Zealand, right? They're playing games back in New Zealand, so the fans are happy to see them, back on home turf. And 2, they're playing bloody well. And 3, it seems like Webster's, and he's created a great culture and put a bit more meaning and mana behind the jersey, and so you can see that all coming together, and so it's fantastic. I mean, the media, Sky Sports, Monty Beatham and Adam Blair, they talk about, the grit that they have at the moment, which is something that you wouldn't typically see from the Warriors of the past. And to your point, that they seem to have this championship mentality. Back in 2011, where we played so great footy, but we weren't renowned, like you said, for our defense. We're renowned for our resilience, our defense, our never give up attitude, and our ability to have a more structured attack. And that's something I don't want to say kind of like Storm, but we're not like the Storm, but we're kind of getting to that point where we've got a blueprint and we can, just stick with it. And we've got, we haven't got superstar players, but everyone knows their role from the sounds of it, and yeah, it's great. And DWZ is just bloody hell, he's kicking ass, isn't he?
Oh wow, Isaac, bro, what were you doing when Dallin had jumped up and grabbed that Sean Johnson kick? It looked like it was going to, to use your phrase, it looked like he kicked it into the car park.
That's great.
All of a sudden, flying through the air, the mullet. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I actually I unfortunately had to rewind it because I quickly went to go get a drink, came back, and then the kick came out of nowhere. And it really did look like a kick out of nowhere, to be honest. But apparently they've been talking about how they, in those situations, they've got 3 or 4 different plays in the playbook. And that was just one of them, because I thought that kick was... When I first saw that kick, I thought it wasn't a very well-aimed kick. And then as the screen panned out to the right, I was like, well, that's just a perfectly placed kick.
Yeah.
And then, DWZ, both feet in. Was it both feet or was it just 1 foot? And then he put it down.
That was 1 foot.
Just one, yeah.
1 foot, yeah. That was, as you would say, NFL quality touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Warriors.
It reminded me, like, they've been doing a few of those plays, Sean and Dallin, which has been beautiful. And they have been reminding me of, like, quarterbacks throwing that, deep fade right into the back corner. But also what you've just described as well, how, with the screen kind of panning further sideways, it's almost like in cricket when someone hits it up in the air and you think it's, going for 4 or 6. And then the camera just kind of pans a little bit further and you see there's a fielder out there going,
Yeah, that's what it was like. I thought, well, that kick's going out. And then, no, it's not.
yeah.
And then he caught it.
Yeah, that would have been the Raiders fans saying like, oh, sweet, we're all, oh, shit.
Yeah, that was like that. Oh, good for you. Oh, my God. Yeah. Just like that.
Oh, man. Now, Moneta, in that second half, we did what we do. We love our second halves. We come out, we play strong. How much of it was, say, us playing strong and just the faders just completely capitulating?
I think that there's an element to that because, we've mentioned, like, the Raiders, they've got a big forward pack, right? But they tend to tire out around the, like, latter of the game. But I think we can contribute that to also just how we, were able to kind of, prevent them from crossing the try line in the first 40. It must have been a bit of a kind of like, they must have been getting frustrated, right? You're in their territory for about a good, solid, what was it, most of the first 40, and you're not getting across the line, or you're not scoring the points that you think you should be, and that can be quite, mentally, I guess kind of, draining to some degree. But I think we contributed to that, and then we just picked it up in the second 40. We held on to the ball better, and we played, up the middle really quickly. Again, the back three with DWZ and CNK Montoya, man, they get those meters, eh? Like, they get the good meters. And, and then you watch Sean Johnson just do his thing now. It's like, it's all coming together. And I like that one play with Metcalf, where Sean Johnson passed down Metcalf, and you got to see a little bit of Metcalf's pace, and I was like, oh my God, he's quite quick.
He's got some juice, bro. He's got some juice in their legs.
Yeah.
I did skip ahead to the second half, but I missed out a key detail. And that was the fact that just before half time, when the scores were tied, the referee, Grant Atkins, single-handedly won the game for us. Because he gave a penalty to Canberra after Dallin got tangled up with Big Red, Corey Horsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
And at the time, initially, my initial reaction was a bit of rage because I was like, what on
I was
earth
raging.
did they get the penalty for? Took a little while for that red mist to just kind of subside. And I thought back to what we'd spoken about in the expense account last week. And Greg Spencer told us that out of the past 4 or 5 matches between the Raiders and the Warriors,
Yeah.
the team leading at half time has gone on to lose. And I was like, okay, all right. So Grant Atkins gave them the penalty. Then they took the lead into half time. So I thought, he's won us the game. He has given us the game here. So I know that the fans were getting stuck into Grant Atkins, and on the surface of it, it looked like a horrendous call, but I just got to give him a bit of credit for actually, giving us the result in the end, ultimately. But
Calm as a
Isaac,
bitch.
what's that, bro?
Calm as a bitch.
Yeah, that's right.
This will help Canberra out to no end. Oh.
Now, Isaac, in that second half, one of our guys really probably turned the corner on his performance because he wasn't going that flash in the first half. And that was Wade Egan making a couple of
Yeah.
uncharacteristic sort of errors. But man, the second half, his influence, I just had a look at all of the tries that we scored in the second half just before. And his influence is in a lot of these tries. And what did you think of his overall performance?
Prestige. He's the prestige.
He is the
I mean,
prestige.
sure, some uncharacteristic passes. You could see the look on his face. He wasn't very happy with it either. But, the good far outweighs the bad. His level of creativity from around the ruck, he's running more than any other season that he's played for the Warriors. And it's making a big difference. And that dummy that he threw close to the line, I love it. He just did the full circle. I love seeing a dummy like that because someone really bought it when they had to do something like that.
Yeah.
So he just brings so much, and he puts himself into good positions in defense as well. He's a heart, he's a bit of a pest. He's a tackler, but his creativity really, and just the time he can give a guy like SJ or Luke, just to see what's in front of them. It's no disrespect to Freddie Lassick either. I like the way he plays, but again, I think Wade Egan's just that next step up and probably a good guy for Lassick to learn from.
He just really showed what we could do on attack. On that try, the first try of the second half, Chance got, I was looking back at that and Wade had thrown like a double cutout pass straight to Sean, and all of a sudden we had room to work with. So that was beautiful. That was a left to right pass as well, not the old favoured
Right to left.
So like that was really cool. But also that try he scored. If people are wondering what we're talking about, we call him the Prestige because we're thinking back to the movie The Prestige, and it basically goes in the terms of like on any magic trick, you've got the first part is called the pledge. The second part is called the turn. And then the third part is called the prestige. So if you go and watch that try back, Wade's try that he got, it's all in there. Like, it's like, there are three parts to it. There is the initial part, and then he just, manages to trick the defense and then scoot through for the prestige try. So that's why we call him the Prestige. Great movie too. I haven't actually watched that in a while.
Christian Bale, Hugh Jackman.
Yes. Yeah. Doing,
yeah.
Christopher Nolan as well. Very great movie. We digress. But yeah, awesome to see his influence, going strong there. Moneta, there's been chatter around the place about Tohu Harris in terms of potential, maybe potentially hanging up the boots at the end of the year.
Yeah.
But if you watch him, getting around the field on his one good leg, mate, he still seems like he's everywhere and doing everything.
Yeah, no, he's just, I don't know, he's like Superman. He's just there when you need him, eh? Well, no, if he's like, I don't know, some people might dispute that. He's doing great. But is there rumours? I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's been a little bit of chat going around the place. I mean,
I hope he doesn't go. Like, I get it. He's like got one bung knee, but I still think he's got a couple of good years in him.
Yeah, if we can, just maybe tailor the workload a little bit. The trouble is, he just does so much good stuff, right?
Yeah,
got the old that money ball over to Hot Tamale.
That's why he's the leader. That's why he's the captain. He leads by example, and yeah, that's why. Yeah, and people see that, and they just replicate it, and oh fuck, I can't say enough about him. I can't say enough about the whole team actually.
Yeah,
and this is the thing, right? Like, it's not like in past seasons we've had like a few, we've had individuals play well within the team, but I feel like everyone's playing well in the team. Everyone's stepping up, and that's what makes it hard when we start getting the troops back. Who do you start leaving out? I mean, there's that discussion now.
Yeah.
Metcalf or TMM, Tomato Martin or Kossi, or how do we fit him? How do we fit Tavanga back? Shit, and Dylan Walker. There's all this, like, we've never had that kind of depth before. Now we're starting to get that, and now it's like, it's a good problem to have now.
yeah. yeah, all of a sudden we've got a few options on the wings, a few options in the
Centre.
centres, a
Halves.
few options at playmakers. I mean, it's pretty healthy signs. Moneta, let's look into that a little bit. Say the wings. We've got the choice between Kossi, who has come back from injury. They'll probably nurse him back through, say, New South Wales Cup first for at least a couple of weeks anyway. That was if he was going to get to the top team. But then you've also got Dallin, who's been going great guns, especially the last couple of weeks. He's really turned up and just put on some, match-winning kind of displays. And then Marcelo Montoya, who's just rock solid. Who do you, even if we've got any other options as well, who do you think will be, stationed out on the two wings out of those three?
Fuck, that was hard, eh? Kossi, before he got injured, was playing fantastic. He was doing great. And, but then DWZ coming in, his form has been sensational. I mean, you can't drop him now, eh? Just the way he's going, he runs up the middle pretty hard. He's got no fear. I mean, his acrobatics in the air. The only thought I thought would be that you could have Kossi in one wing, DWZ, put Montoya back into the centres, and yeah, have him there with Pompey. But then you've got Ali Leitawa, and he put on a good performance for the first time against a seasoned vet in Jared Croker. And so, and you got Rocco Berry coming back. And so it's like, I don't know. But that's the thing. I never thought I'd say that about the Warriors. Like, usually you have like a clear cut, he's in, because that guy's playing really shit. But everyone's playing well. And so it's like, but like I said before, what is it? I can't remember the saying now. What is it?
We love butchering a good saying.
Yeah, I can't remember. What is it?
Oh, he's got the headset off. Hang on.
Oh, no, what is it? Oh, I
It'll come
forgot
to you.
it. Competition keeps you in condition. I don't know. Yeah, so that one
good
kind of
one.
like,
I do remember. Yeah, that does ring a bell.
I said that. Oh, not the dawn is dark, the darkest dawn, but sorry, but that one too. That is very true.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it is like there's competition now that's keeping everybody, forcing everybody to take it up to another level so they can keep their position now. And that's something we've never seen before. And but the depth that we've got coming into the back end of the season, I think they will bode well for us because there's bound to be a few injuries.
That's right.
There is one area of concern when it comes to depth of the Warriors, and that's prop for me. Especially concerning that Bunty Afoa only played 15 minutes of that game. I think I've been harping on about it for a little while now about Bunty and his contribution to the team. I mean, it's the coach's call whether to put him in the game and when to take him off. But 15 minutes off, starting and then pretty much off for the rest of the game. What's up with that? I mean, and I think if you take Fanua Blake out of the equation, let's just say he gets an injury, for a prolonged period of time, do we have the stocks available to sort of fill the gap he leaves in the team? Because at the moment, he's just slow dancing his way to 200 meters every week. Do we have someone that can pick up that 200 meters, or do we have to spread that around? And if we have to spread that around, what's Bunty's contribution to that? Because 15 minutes for me, and I've said it in prior podcasts as well, I'd rather keep a spot available for someone else instead of having Bunty just play 15 minutes. Again, no knock on Bunty, we love him, fan favourite, but for me, it just feels like there's a roster spot out there that could be assigned to someone else that might be able to provide a little bit more.
Yeah, fair. Let's have a look at that side of things. So if we've got, say, in a few weeks' time, all going well, we're going to have Dylan Walker coming back, Jazz Tevanga coming back as well. So those two guys will go straight into the bench. So then it kind of leaves you in a bit of a position where you've got, say, Tom Ale, Bunty Afoa, Josh Curran. and you're probably only going to be able to keep maybe say 2 of them. So who's going to miss out of those 3? Bunty, Ale, or clean up?
It's a tough one. It's really tough. So you've already got 2 middle forwards on the bench, and Jazz and Dylan. Oh, you've got cleanup Curran who can cover a number of spots. You know, he covers the middle, he covers the edge, he could cover centre at a pinch, which he has done last week. And Ale's still growing into the role, but he's getting better and better as the weeks go on. Bunty's the odd man out for me, but I would counter that as well with, do you have a spot open for a utility like Luke Metcalf when TMM comes back as well? And then maybe
that's
just
what I was thinking.
play a lighter bench, but with Curran as the bigger body to fill a number of roles, then you have a utility like Metcalf to provide a bit of spark or just cover in that back line for any injuries.
It's funny because Metcalf, when you look at him and the number of places that you can put him, you think to yourself, you know, he is an ideal candidate to be a 14th man, you know, in the team. So I can definitely see that type of use for him. But it's a funny one now. We've kind of, I guess, as we've gone through the season, we played our whole first stack of games. I mean, we're getting guys injured, and you know, guys are looking tired and that, and it was like, shit, you're hanging out for the bye. And then you kind of get to the first bye, all of a sudden we start winning a few games, and then we get another bye next week. So it's like, you know, kind of at the first point when we were looking for a bye, we didn't get it, and now we're getting on a roll and we actually, you know, get a bye thrown at us. How much, you know, can that maybe stall the momentum, or will it just be a blessing to, you know, just get people fresh, do you think, Monita?
I think it could be a blessing to some degree. I mean, after that Sean Johnson knock in the head from, I can't remember who. It was accidental. I don't know how he came back on, though. I was like, wow. Though he did score that try, which was funny. Yeah. And then it would give us the chance to have the other troops kind of warmed up, you know, again, like Kossi, Dylan, Tavanga, TMM. So it could be a blessing. And the other time when we had the bye, we had a crazy schedule, right? We were playing like 3 games in 11 days. I can't remember that. And they're all kind of like, you know, on Australian turf, and it was just a really shit schedule that, you know. So that was something that we needed that bye. We were looking tired, you know, the game before that. But this, I still think we'll have the momentum going into the next, after the game against it. I think we're going against the Dragons. Yeah, but I think from a selfish point of view, that would be great to watch another Warriors game the way they're going. Yeah, they're just playing great footy. Yeah.
I think with the amount of travel that we do, anytime we get a bye, it's a blessing, because we have to travel more than any other team in the league. And I think the way the Warriors are going and having troops coming back after the bye as well will only continue the momentum, so there'll just be this, you know, air of confidence that we're getting players back in a lot of key positions, which is, you know, exciting for the team. So I think the bye, it's a good thing. I think it's a surprisingly short period between the last bye, but I think it's going to be a blessing for us.
Yeah, nice. Isaac, what are you thinking is currently our top centre combination?
Oh, that's a tough one. That's really tough
Ali 2.0 went pretty well.
Yeah, Ali 2.0, like, what a debut. I mean, with all the fanfare and celebration around Croker, and with it being such a big game, I think he gets lost on the fact that he had a standout game for a rookie. I mean, I think one sort of key moment for me is when a bomb went up and he flew above the pack and he took that. He took it 2 hands above his head, all the confidence in the world. Yeah, it's a tough one, the centre position, because for all the shit that Pompey's got through the years, I think he's got one spot sewn up because he hasn't done anything wrong. You can't drop a guy that hasn't really made too many mistakes. Maybe that Brisbane try that wasn't, is one blot, but apart from that, he's been solid. But for me, if you put a gun to my head and you said pick somebody, I would probably go Rocco Berry. And he's copping a bit of flack online as well. From some clowns that just got some crazy stuff to say about him. But I think he's got a lot of potential. I think in the games that he has played, he's shown he's got a bit of it in and away, and he's got some silky skills to go with it. He just needs a bit more time. But he looks a lot more confident than he did last year, and I would rather see him out there getting another shot. So he would be my pick. He's a bit more creative, can make something out of nothing, that kind of guy.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that. I think I think he's been a surprise to me. I know we'd seen early promise from him, but then last year, kind of watching him, I just thought, oh, what are we doing with this guy? And then this year, man, he's just come in. He's looked like he belongs. He's got a bit of swagger and a bit of confidence and a bit of creativity about him. And I've been thinking, all right, this guy's a keeper. Let's keep him in there. But then, like you say, a guy who's 100 odd kilos and 6 foot something named Ali comes along and starts catching the ball out of midair, with the old almost one handed. It was a great catch, and it really, that could have been the difference really between us conceding points and going up the other end, because all of a sudden we've gone from being under pressure and gone up their end, and they couldn't clean up a kick to save themselves. And all of a sudden we're putting points on them. So, really, I think that's an interesting sort of area to watch as things go by. Moneta, what else stood out to you about the game? Any other standout stuff before we move on?
No, I think I've mentioned it before. I think it's just like the resilience and the grit. And you talk about confidence. I think everyone's playing with confidence now. And I think, I was listening into Triple M, on the podcast that they have, and they were talking about just the way that Webster coaches, the way he kind of interacts with the players, and he gives them confidence. And it seems like he's giving all his players confidence, but how he approaches his players, he does it differently. Like, he doesn't approach one player the same way he would approach another player. So it seems like he really understands, certain, all the individuals and so forth. So, he's done something to create a really good culture, bring out the best of them. And can we keep it on for 10 years if this is going to keep on happening? But this is really good to see. And I don't want to say it's about time, but yeah, fucking about time. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Isaac, can we lock him up for 10 years? Can we send him a mega contract? Like, I know it's early days, but are we thinking on those terms?
I think if you ask the players, they'd probably say yes. I mean, yeah, Webster, he's we talk about him all the time, but he really is an unsung hero of that team. I mean, to take it from where we were, think about all the podcasts last year when we were talking about a loss, and there were a lot of them, and it was, getting a bit hard to be positive about things, to where they are now. The one thing I've really noticed as well is when I think about Webster's footprint on the team, you look at Tohu Harris playing the Isaiah Yo role, you look at Sean Johnson playing the Nathan Cleary role, you look at Wade Egan playing the Api Kurosai role, and then you look at CNK playing the Dylan Edwards role. It just smacks of Penrith. And the way that Penrith play, they can grind out a team. They'll just wait, bide their time, and explode. The Warriors are almost like that team too. They've got the endurance, they've got the stamina, and they've got people in key positions, the spine plus the 13, which arguably these days you could say is, part of your spine. The way the ball player, that 13 becomes a ball player position now. That spine is so reminiscent of Penrith, and it's a copycat league. I'm happy for that. So Webster, for him to be able to implement that with the team, it's just been huge.
Yeah. To be able to throw an extra bone into the spine is, when you think about it, it's quite a big thing to change in a game. And you're right, from the Penrith influence, they've definitely gone ahead, and done that, and have brought that over to the Warriors as well.
I do think it is Webster himself too, in terms of his individuality and how he's brought it about. Because we have seen Steve Kearney try to bring in that structure from the Storm, and he's tried to do that. But I think the way it's obvious that he's brought in the ways of like Penrith and how they play into the Warriors, but the way he's got the players to start to believe in himself, it's the culture, it's all of that. Because you can have all the structure and processes, and I remember they used to annoy the F out of me when the Kearney days, we didn't stick to the processes and stuff like that. But there was something that just wasn't quite there. And so I think Webster's found that little bit of magic where it's not, we've got the structures, we've got the processes, but he's got that one thing that we've been missing for like a decade, and that's the culture and belief within the Warriors jersey. And that's something I think it's, is evident, you can see it like thoroughly now. So yeah.
Yeah,
He's sold the players, but he sold the players on his game plan, and he's got the talent and the expertise to be able to get them to buy into it on an individual level, and everyone's happy. Everyone in that squad, everyone on the outer of that squad is happy, So it's obvious that they've bought into his mantra and his game plan, and it just makes his job way easier. I feel like there's no pushback on what he's trying to achieve. They're all in together.
Yeah. And it also feels like he's just slotted in like a glove since he's come on. In terms of even dealing with even the media and the fans, you just think, man, this guy is our guy, right?
He's chilled. He's just like, you see him in the press conferences. He's like, he's pretty chilled.
He's a good man. Now, it actually is a good time to throw to this week's expense account because we have some info there. What's going on?
Talk about throw.
So exciting to knock the microphone over.
The expense account.
That was a great time.
Have to dip into the expense account to pay for the mic, get a new one after he's broken it.
Is it okay?
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, so this week in the expense account, after an 8-win in 6-loss start to his Warriors coaching career, speaking of Andrew Webster, he's in a 3-way tie along with John Mooney and Andrew McFadden for the best record in a coach's opening 14 games for the club. He'll need to win another 5 consecutive matches to surpass John Mooney's impressive 1995 record of 12 wins and 6 losses to begin his coaching tenure. Wow. So we love Webster. And that's why.
It also goes to show how good that first year was like for the Warriors. We kind of get caught up on missing the playoffs and the whole substitution thing. 6 losses. But man, they started off well.
That really surprised me, that stat, just about the John Mooney part. Yeah, that's old John Mooney, eh? Second of all, in the expense account, defensively, the Warriors have conceded the exact same number of tries on the left edge as they have on the right. Their left edge defense rates number 2 across the comp in the fewest tries conceded category. And offensively, though the left edge has scored the second fewest amount. Offensively, though, the left edge has scored the second fewest amount out of all teams, with just 12. The Titans, Rabbits, and Sharks left edges lead that stat with 15 or more tries than the Warriors, and 27 tries in total.
Wow. Okay. So they don't give away much, but they don't get much
on that left edge. Yeah. So.
Okay.
And games at Mount Smart Stadium are averaging 21,593 so far in 2023. So big ups to the Warriors fans.
Damn.
It's the third highest venue in the competition behind Suncorp and Allianz. And by comparison, our last home season in 2019 saw an average attendance of less than 14,000. And this year is the first time since 1995 since we've averaged more than 21,000. So.
Yeah, I'm
jump on the bandwagon. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm tempted to get a ticket to go to Auckland for the Rabbitohs game. I want to do it now.
Yeah. When is that's a few weeks away, is it?
Yeah, a few weeks away.
Man, I wish we were getting the bunnies right now. Sheesh.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're struggling, but yeah. Anyways, c'est la vie. No, thank you, bro. Thank you for the expense account, and also thank you to
Thank you,
Greg Spence for supplying us with the gold. That excited Moneta's microphone. Yeah. Now, I've actually I've managed to get hold of a few highlights for our New South Wales Cup team because they had a good win over the weekend against the Raiders as well, playing over at the what we're calling the Onslow College number 2 field. What it looked like didn't look like a rugby league stadium, but
Right into the bank.
over at the Raiders Belcanon, however you say that. But yeah, they won the game 34 points to 16. So we've got a few. Thought I'll try and share a few highlights with you now. Hopefully it doesn't glitch too much. But the Raiders got underway with the first try. A little bit of a speculator pass there, but the fullback came out and just he glitched a bit and then scored.
He sprayed the defense.
Oh,
That's all right. But then the Warriors came back.
pretty elastic.
Scored on the right edge here with
Falkman.
Sanele Alcostino dotting down. He's a big winger with the long
that's
hair.
a winger?
So yeah, he's a big boy. Also followed up with Nicholas Halalilo, snuck through the second rower,
Oh,
dotted through. That fullback
he's
didn't
a
really
big
want to know
boy
about
too.
him too much.
Shit.
The Raiders came back though, second half. Got a couple of tries here. Got one with Matt Frawley.
Matt Frawley.
Before Lecker, the game wrecker, Halasima, number 12 here. Hard to believe, this guy played SG ball earlier. Like, he's 17, 18 years of age. Like, guys,
What?
seriously.
17.
And he's just
Oh my
busting
gosh.
through, grown ass men. This is Viliami Vailea got a couple.
Good on
That
him.
was his first one there in the 55th minute, and then 6 minutes later, managed to grab another one out here on the right edge. Just snuck on through. He's another guy who's been forgotten about as well on the whole, the success of the team. So, you got a guy like him in the background as well, just floating around. Had a few struggles, sure, but the Raiders came back, got another try before our guy, Moneta. He managed to rattle you in the first podcast episode of the season, and he rattled the Raiders here to get a try. So, pretty lucky.
It's like he just fell onto that ball and scored the try.
That's all right. So thank you to New South Wales Rugby League for letting us use those highlights. Also, guys, there's something exciting happening with this team because they are currently sitting 5th on the ladder. And next week they're going to be going to play against the Newtown Jets over in Sydney. And Newtown are sitting 2nd on the ladder as well. So that's a big game for them, 2nd versus 5th. A couple of things to get excited about. First off, I was having a look through how the finals work for the New South Wales Cup, just thinking well ahead of time here. And they actually run the top 5. They run the old school, like the old Winfield Cup styles, top 5 finals series. So you have the old preliminary finals and 2nd versus 3rd and the game qualified to the grand final and all this sort of stuff. So that was kind of a bit of a throwback. I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. But also, in the more immediate future, for the match against the Jets, Warrior Nation are going to be at the ground. It's at Henson Park in Newtown. If anyone's around Sydney, head along. And also, quite exciting for myself is that New South Wales Rugby League TV are going to be streaming this game. And yours truly is going to be commentating it. So, so I'm excited. I get to make my Warriors debut.
Oh, that's awesome, bro.
Yeah, so there was a game I was lined up for earlier in the season, didn't quite go ahead, but now I get to go up a level, up to New South Wales Cup. So the old the nerves are starting to get pumping.
You got this, bro.
That's right, bro. Thanks, man. Just got to get over COVID as well. Tested positive for COVID on Friday night. So yeah, so it's been it's been a fun few days going on here. But yeah, I'll be sweet come game time. So that's pretty exciting. So if you're around Sydney, get along. If you're not around Sydney, tune in to the New South Wales Rugby League.
Gotta get that rest, man. Gotta get that rest.
That's it, bro. Gotta learn the names. Gotta,
Okay, let's finish on time then, this time.
That's it, bro. Early to rise. Get everything sorted by Saturday. So that's gonna be a big game. Excited about that. There's also quite a bit going on around the NRL. And normally this is the stage in the podcast where we get Daniel Wharekura to run through a delicious and nutritious NRL wrap. But unfortunately, he's on kid duty tonight. What did he say? What was the latest message from him? Yeah, I think he was
Wasn't
still
he
busy.
getting his back waxed? Didn't he say that? Oh, no, sorry, but
I like that. We'll throw that at him when he comes back. He'll love it, I'm sure.
With backs I can crack.
So we'll throw it to you, Isaac, bro. You've been keeping an eye around the league this weekend, bro. What's been going on around the
Oh,
NRL?
yeah, not much of an NRL wrap here, more of an NRL bucket of goodness here. The Titans-Tigers game, I thought the Titans were going to do Titan things and just basically blow the lead. They didn't. But what did happen is Tino Fa'asuamaleaui managed to blow up Api Kurosawa's face with his elbow or forearm. It looked pretty innocuous to me, to be perfectly honest, but Api Kurosawa out for Origin, the remainder of the series, more than likely with a broken jaw. So, whoosh, not so good for the New South Welshmen or their fans, which is you, me, and Buddha. Nera can go away. The next game, obviously, Raiders, Warriors. Obviously, the Warriors won. Hooray. That was a great Friday night. Sea Eagles, Dolphins. Sea Eagles just went bananas on the Dolphins. Didn't see that one coming, to be honest. After seeing what the Dolphins have produced this year, I think Ruben Garrick scored a hat-trick. Tommy Turbo scored 2 and just ran roughshod.
Dolphins are missing a few troops that way. They're missing in like some key halves, like in Sullivan and stuff like that.
They've been missing their key halves for a while now.
Yeah.
I don't think they had too many other injuries. They're almost at full strength.
Kafusi?
But Kafusi, yeah,
He might have still been. Was he back or was he still out?
sure on that one. But
It must be pretty close.
they've been a grinding team, but Manly just blew them off the park. Dragons up over the Rabbitohs, so that was a bit of a
The
boil
last
over.
3 minutes, though. Jesus.
Yeah.
Bananas. Yeah.
Far out. I've never seen anything like that. Just
I
try
know.
77th. Try
You can see the Dragons
78th.
coach
Try 79th. It was like, oh my
You can see
gosh.
the Dragons coach, eh? What the fuck is happening?
Yeah, so hopefully they don't carry that sort of form, the Dragons, into the game against us. Broncos Knights, that game, that was a heartbreaker for the Knights as well. But I don't know if any of you guys saw the final try that Ezra Mam and Adam Reynolds put on. It was an absolute beauty.
Yeah.
Reminiscent of Langer and Walters, basically.
Yeah.
Or, two-man band.
I
thought that
just
was
love how
beautiful.
he had to like sort of weigh up the pass because of where the defender was. You can see him coming across and he's like, all right, I need to try and sort of wind up to flick it, back underneath his, the hand in it. It was like,
Yeah, he positioned. He moved his body to the left so he could flick it to the right.
Yeah.
Which I thought was amazing. But I feel sorry for the Knights because they actually played pretty well, but you could tell they were going to run out of gas. Probably one of my favorite games in the round for one of the funnier reasons was the Roosters versus Panthers, which was basically Spencer Leniu versus JWH. Did you see how bung his eyes went when he was going to? And what was it? The call. I'll wait for you in the car in the parking lot. You can count on me waiting for you in the parking lot, Mister. Big bust up between JWH and Spencer Leniu over a bottle of water, which I thought was hilarious.
They're going to be teammates next year.
yeah.
They're going to be teammates next
I'm
year.
going to watch their training sessions. They're going to be great value.
Yeah, but Spencer Leniu's eyes just went Who Framed Roger Rabbit cartoon bung. They were just huge. He really wanted to kick the shit out of JWH. Storm over the Sharks. Storm 54-10. Not looking good for Nico Hines, even though he didn't play that bad, but not the kind of outing he would want for a New South Wales jersey audition.
Also
Storm
starting to see why Daniel Wharekura managed to relegate the Sharks from his second favourite team this year.
yeah, exactly.
All of a sudden he's like, I'm getting on to another side.
Just jumped off the bandwagon for the Sharks. But yes, Storm did Storm things, really. Bulldogs and Eels have just finished up, and Eels have won 34-12 over the Bulldogs on a Monday night game. But that's your NRL bucket.
Right.
Rab?
Yeah, the NRL bucket. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Bucket of
delicious.
points. But yeah, Spencer Lenu, Jesus. He was, yeah, I wonder if they did get it on in the parking lot later on. I wouldn't have been surprised. If
Yeah.
it's-
Just on that
Club.
as well, are the lawmakers nowadays getting a little bit carried away with sin binning guys who didn't technically do a hell of a lot? There was a lot of chat and there was a lot of eyeballing going on. Probably extreme eyeballing, you could probably call it. Spencer's maybe nearly had one popping out, but but like
they were more
yeah,
out than in.
yeah, that's right. Is it maybe a little bit over the top to send both of them to the bin in that kind of instance? What do you think, Isaac?
Oh, I don't know, because if they had let it go and played on, sure enough, they would have been running right at each other, and probably another dust up might have occurred. You know, from a game point of view, probably not the best thing. From a spectator point of view, I would have rather had kept them on and just watched the fireworks. You know, it's like fucking. Just a
The ref probably did the
double-handed-
right thing by sending them
Did
off
the
to
right
let them
thing.
cool down.
Yeah.
But from a spectator thing, it would have been great to watch another UFC match. But so yeah.
I was wondering about it. I just thought, hang on, like, no one's actually hit anyone here. It's just, it's only words.
And a water bottle.
More than words.
More than words.
More than
The
words.
Yeah, first the spray. I love the spray. He's pretty accurate with that too, Jared. Like, got him right in the, right in the temple, and then with the throw as well, like, doink.
Exactly. The one in Spencer was pissed off. But I
Oh,
thought that was
man.
hilarious.
I thought it was great.
Yeah. Love to see more of that stuff. But yeah.
Also thought that made me think, reinforced my views. I thought Spencer needs to be put into State of Origin. 100%. Get him in there. The more crazy eyes, the better.
yeah.
Yeah.
Before the game, just spray him in the face. And that'll get him fired up for the game.
Yeah. How you feeling, bro? Yeah, good man. Go out there. Good old Spencer. Now, Moneta. There's been a bit of chat around the social media circles across the games, over the past couple of weeks. And there was a couple more teams added to this list over the weekend. And that is the 50-point curse teams. So apparently teams who have conceded more than 50 points or more in a season have never gone on to win the premiership. So now we've got 5 teams in this list. You've got the Raiders, you got the Bulldogs, you got the Cowboys, the Dolphins, and the Sharks. Moneta, do you think any of those teams have a chance at breaking the curse?
I think the way the Cowboys are going, they could. I hear that they're coming into form. Raiders, I was going to say Sharks, but I think Cowboys. I mean, I think Raiders. I think the game before, I can't remember they versed. Who did they versed? It was the Tigers. The game before they versed us.
Yeah.
They weren't looking too flashy then too, and they don't look as fit as most teams, or like even us at the moment. Or we look like the fittest we've ever been. But yeah, I think it's probably the Cowboys that probably might break that hoodoo.
Okay.
But I really hope that stays, maintains its kind of like curse. Because I want us, the Warriors haven't scored, we haven't leaked in 50 points yet, and let us go through. So
Yeah, that's right. Defense wins championships.
yeah,
Second best defense.
Second best. I'll
That's
take
right.
second best.
That's right.
I'll take
When you
second
think about
best.
it, we've got the best defense by a team not called Penrith.
Exactly. Numero uno.
All right. Well, fellas, we've got bye week coming up. Also, the announcement of the Origin teams coming up as well. What the hell are we going to do?
Watch New South Wales Cup
There you go.
and listen to your commentating.
Testing you, bro. I was testing you on that one.
Perfect time for it. Everybody get on
Throw
board.
some catchphrases in there, mate. Just make
That's
some
all
on
right.
it.
If you guys are on there, throw in some comments and just be like, hey, pull me up on any pronunciations that I might screw up, because I'll be trying
Can
to
we
nail
make
them.
comments during the...
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, people can comment and everything. So
All right.
say where you're watching from or who you're cheering for. And
I'll
all
just
that
make
sort
an
of
anonymous comment saying, "This is the best commentary I have ever heard. Number one."
Gotta be better than Blocker Roach.
thing. Yeah,
But
be like,
Blocker Roach has actually turned around a bit. He's been really supportive of the Warriors. Like,
yeah, well,
yeah,
you
he
know,
is.
if you earn it, you're good enough to get the praise from Blocker. So that's fair. Now, just on a little bit of a side note, we've got Origin coming up. We've also got the Origin coming up for the women's game as well. And so that's got game 2 coming up shortly. I just want to give a quick shout out to my wife. Her cousin Cassie Tohi Hiku has been selected in the Blues extended squad.
Oh.
So really exciting times for the family. To see her in the squad and potentially taken to the field depending on how things go. So exciting times. There's a few exciting little things going on around the place at the moment, aside from the NRL and the men's state of origin. So really really cool stuff happening there. Boys, I think we're probably going to jump out of here. I don't think Buddha's going to make it. I don't think we've got any extra guests popping in to say hello.
Last 2 minutes. Hey guys. We're gonna go now. Oh yes.
Hey guys, and done.
Yeah.
I think we're going now.
So I guess we probably should jump on out of here. Is there anything you fellas want to raise? Is everyone behaving themselves in the Facebook group?
Yeah, everyone's. No, there's been some good chatter. I think everyone's just, taking, having good vibes at the moment. So, yeah, let's keep it going.
Yeah, that's right. Welcome to all the new members as well. If anyone's tuning in for the first time and wondering what the hell is going on, thanks for joining us and thanks for joining the group. We are Warriors Anonymous. You can catch us on Facebook, Insta, Twitter. You can subscribe and follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube as well. However you want to track us down, we'll be around. And wishing our team all the best. Not for this week, really, because they're on a bye. But as we say, the New South Wales Cup team coming up, huge game Saturday against the Newtown Jets. So, Moneta, we will catch you later, my friend. Stay safe over there and watch out for the microphone falling off the table again. Okay, well that just took a direction that none of us were expecting.
This is the R18 podcast.
And cut. Isaac, bro, take it easy, bro. We might see you back in the Woody next week if it gets cold enough.
Yes, I will be wearing the Woody next week. It's too cold. Hot water bottle doesn't cut it. But yeah, congrats again, man, for getting that commentating gig. That is awesome. Tune in.
Thanks, bro.
That is sensational.
Yeah. Come up with some sort of catchphrase. Spend the rest of the week, you're going to get a catchphrase.
A catchphrase. Okay. I like that challenge.
Always bet on black.
Yeah, always been on black.
Always bet on black.
That's one you know really well, so yeah. If you can throw that in the middle of the game.
Jared, they're not wearing a black uniform.
Yeah. I actually had old Brian Fletcher from work talking to me the other day about it. He goes, "Oh, when's your thing?" And I told him it was, this coming week. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, sweet." And I was like, I'll try not to be too biased for the Warriors. And he turns to me and goes, "Nah, man, be as biased as you possibly can be." I was like,
Straight from the horse's mouth, man. Told you. You've got free reign.
Anyways, we'll see how it goes. Thanks very much for joining us, boys. Thanks for tuning in. Buddha, if you're out there, bro, I hope you're doing your job, your parental duties well out there. So we'll catch you next week, and we'll see. We'll see how the wax turned out. It's brave, very brave to announce that on air. But my name is Jared Cronin. This has been Warriors Anonymous. We will catch you next week, and of course, every single week, as we love to say, go the Warriors.